welcome to Learning with Violet Culture. And in today's video, we are going to be dissecting professional values. There are about 15 professional values you are expected to know about in your OSCE exam. Of the 15 professional values, you are expected to just get one. So look at your screen and I'm going to be sharing all the professional values you are expected to know for your OSCE exam. But to be honest, it is simple. Like I always say, OSCE is simple and nurses are brilliant. Before we dive into the topic for today, I'd like to congratulate you. I had over 80 mails. I'm not joking, guys. I posted a video last about 6 days ago. So in this 1 week, I've not posted. I've gotten over 80 mails. Nosvi, thanks for your help. I aced my OSCE exam. So that means OSCE is simple and nurses are brilliant. Even a lot of my online students were like, Nosvi, when you always say this on your videos, we think you exaggerated. But on getting to the exam, finishing assessment in 16-17 minutes, we now know for sure that OSCE is simple. So OSCE is simple. All I need you to do is practice with your friends. And if you don't have any friends to practice with your pillows and marry your marking criteria. So each time you're watching a video, you should be watching that video with your marking criteria. Yeah, that helps you to know exactly like, oh, this person knows what he or she is doing, or this person is talking exactly what is likely to happen in the exam. Okay, so without wasting further ado, and please do me a favor, share this video with everybody preparing for OSCE exam. I'll get a mail. Nosby, I failed my OSCE exam once. I failed twice. I failed third. All right, send me your result. I will see simple skills they are even failing. And guys, please, I want to say this. If you failed your OSCE exam once and you feel you need help, it's better to contact me early. Don't contact me after you failed 3 times. I can't help you. Once you fail 3 times, NMC is going to lock your portal for complete 6 months. It is after 6 months they get to open your portal. Okay, so I can't help you. But if you fail once and you send me a mail and say, Nosvi, I failed my OSCE exam once, the next thing I say to you is send me your results. I will only charge you because it can't be a free class. I'll charge you, and definitely on going back for your receipts, you will definitely pass your OSCE exam because you understand why you failed and now you're working towards it. But if you don't tell me, send me a mail, and you are not sure why you failed your OSCE exam, you fail once, you fail twice, you fail twice, and you're sending me a mail, Nosvi, please, somebody give me your contact. I failed 3 times. I can't help you. My hands will be tied. Because NMC, after 3 attempts, closes their portal. And once they close their portal, you have to wait for complete 6 months before starting all over again. So always seek for help. If you feel you need help after failing your OSCE exam, that's not your portion anyway. But this is just like an announcement because it keeps happening. All the best, guys. Without wasting time, let us dive directly into our topic for today.
Ryan Little.
All right, guys, so welcome back. We are going to be talking about professional values, and of the 15 professional values, you are expected to get just one. So I've done a videos on almost all the professional values. Just type my name and my surname and type the topic, and it's just gonna pop up on your screen. So our topic today is bullying. So now professional values is a silent writing station. So you get your scenario, which is your question, and you get a plain sheet of paper to write your answer. So make sure you write your answers in bullet points, but if you write it 1, 2, 3, 4, nobody's going to penalize you. Okay, and make sure you write your answers clearly and make sure you write your answers legibly. Now I'm going to be reading my scenario from my phone. I'm sorry, I don't like posting it. Okay, I'll read it directly from my phone. Just listen attentively and you will get it. Now, bullying. So it's going to be professional values and behavior and bullying. So professional values and behavior, and you get like an hyphen, bullying. Now the scenario. A junior newly employed staff was asked, by the nurse in charge to go make a patient comfortable and reposition the patient. The junior newly employed staff got to the patient bedside and realized that the patient is an assistant of 2. And so she cannot turn and reposition the patient by herself. She then went to report to the nurse in charge. And the nurse in charge insisted that she has to do it herself. She went to the patient bedside the second time, but she could not reposition and turn the patient by herself. On returning back to inform the nurse in charge, she then realized another nurse has just come in for the afternoon shift, and she pleaded with the nurse in charge if the nurse who came on afternoon shift can assist her in repositioning the patient and making the patient comfortable, as she cannot do it by herself. The senior nurse refused to say a word to her and instead started typing a report against her on the system. The junior nurse came crying to you as one of the senior nurse in the unit that since 1 month she has been newly employed, that she has been bullied constantly by the nurse in charge. What advice would you give to her? Using your knowledge of the NMC 2018, the code Professional Standard of Practice and Behavior by nurses, midwife, nursing associates, consider the professional, ethical, and legal implication of the situation. Please summarize the actions you would take in bullet points. This is a silent station, so please write clearly and legibly. And you have 10 minutes to complete the station. Guys, did we get the scenario? This is a clear act of bullying. Yes, because the junior newly employed nurse was asked by the senior nurse, go make a patient comfortable and go reposition the patient. On getting there, she realized that the patient is an assistant of two. She cannot do it herself. She came to report to the nurse in charge, and the nurse in charge insisted that you have to do it yourself. She went, but she still could not because the patient is an assistant of two. She returned to the nurse in charge, saying to her another nurse had come on afternoon shift. If the nurse in charge was happy for the nurse to assist her in repositioning the patient, and instead of the nurse in charge to say, that's very good, go ahead, she began to type on the system, documenting against the junior newly employed staff. And the junior newly employed staff came to you as a nurse, as a senior nurse, and she's complaining to you that it's over 1 month she had just been employed, that this nurse in charge had always bullied her. So what advice would you give to her? So guys, your advice should strictly be your marking criteria. Your advice should strictly be your marking criteria. Your advice should strictly be your marking criteria. But like I always say, write it in your own words, as long as it has the same overall meaning. Now, this is my answer deduced directly from the marking criteria. Number one, I would inform her that any form of bullying, any form at all, I would inform her that any form of bullying and harassment is unacceptable. I would inform her that any form of bullying and harassment is unacceptable and violates a human rights and legal rights. Sick. I would inform her that any form of harassment and bullying is unacceptable and violates a human right and a legal right. Tick. Fantastic first point. Number two, I would also inform her that employer have the duty of care to provide a safe and healthy working conditions for their staff. So I would inform her that every employer have the duty to provide a safe and healthy working environment for their staff. And of course, this is not achieved if a member is suspected of bullying. So number one, I would inform her that any form of bullying is unacceptable and violates human and legal rights. Tick. Number two, I would inform her that every employer have a duty of care to provide a safe and healthy working conditions for all their staff. And if this is not achieved, A staff is then subject to bullying. Tick. Number three, I would recognize the need to follow the actions set out in the local bullying and harassment policy. I would inform her to follow the actions. I would inform her to follow the actions set out in the local bullying and harassment policy. I would inform her to follow the actions set out in the local bullying and harassment policy. Tick. Now, number four, I would inform her that she should uphold the code and the standard and values set out. I would inform her to acknowledge the need to uphold the standard and values set out in the code. I would inform her to acknowledge the need and to keep to and uphold the values and standards set out in the code. And we all know that, which is to prioritize people, practice effectively, promote professionalism, and preserve safely. So I would inform her to keep to and uphold the standard and values set out in the NMC code. And we all know the code, which is to prioritize people, practice effectively, promote professionalism, and of course, preserve safety. And number five, I would inform her to report the incident to the senior manager. I would inform her, or I would encourage her and support her to inform the line manager or the senior manager. So I would inform her, encourage her, and support her to inform the line manager at the earliest opportunity, either in writing or verbally. So I would inform her, encourage her, and support her to report the incident to the senior manager at the earliest opportunity, either in writing or verbally. And I would inform her that she might be asked by the senior manager to complete an incident report, recording the date and the time and anybody she had reported the incident to. So I would inform her that she might be asked by the senior manager to complete an incident report or to put into writing everything that has happened, recording the date and recording the time. All right. And finally, I would I would inform her that she might need psychological support. I would inform her that she might need psychological support from the counseling unit. So this is all. It is quite simple. Just practice it, and I can't wait to congratulate you. You are definitely passing your OSCE exam. So keep practicing and don't forget to share this video. All the best with your OSCE exam. Bye guys.